Check this out. Breakfast of champions, man. Okay, good morning. You're watching Greg's Big Eats, and I often get messages, comments and requests from viewers basically asking me to show them how I render pork fat into lard. Now, I thought that rendering fat is actually a fairly easy process. So easy that you don't even need a video of me showing you how to do it. But then when I think back to the days when I was only using vegetable oils to cook, then I sort of like realized that rendering fat into oil is a pretty forgotten practice these days lah. So in this video, I'll be showing you in detail where to get pork fat in Singapore, and I'll show you two ways how to render the fat. I will also show you how I store the rendered oil and how I use it as an oil basically. Before I jump into the rest of the video, I just want to give a big thank you and shout out to the sponsor of this video, Surfshark VPN. Now that borders have opened up and people are traveling more and more, you and plenty of people will be logging into random Wi-Fi hotspots in airports, coffee shops and so on. These hotspots are generally not secure, and they are an easy way for hackers to gain access to your personal information. So what Surfshark VPN does is to encrypt and secure your personal information before you use the internet. And this way, the wrong people won't have access to your personal information. On the entertainment front, if you want to explore what Netflix looks like in other countries, you can actually trick the streaming service into thinking that you are in another country. So you gain access to that country's movies and TV shows. What's more, Surfshark now introduces a new product called Alternative ID. It can generate a brand new online identity and an email for you to use online, so that you can keep your info out of data brokers' reach. And also, you don't have to give your personal info to those one-time used websites anymore. So for the security, the privacy and the convenience, that's why I recommend Surfshark VPN. If you're interested, you can use my coupon code GREGSBIGEATS, and that'll get you an exclusive Surfshark 11/11/11 deal and 5 additional months free. There is also a 30-day money-back guarantee. I have a link in the description box below, and now back to the video. So firstly, where do you buy pork lard? Firstly, you can get it online on Lazada or Shopee. So let's go to Lazada first, okay? And let's look for pork fat. And there you go, see? Pork fat cube, the first one over here. So there you go, see? $3.56 for 500 grams. And here's another one over here, $4.40 for 300 grams. Then over at Shopee, again from Tasty Food Affair, $4 for 500. And then another one, pork fat cube, $6.30. Are expensive? Oh no, $6.30 for 1 kg. So that's not bad lah. I mean, so yeah, this is how you get pork fat online lah. Or you can go to the supermarket. You won't find it at high-end supermarkets like Cold Storage or even NTUC lah. I mean, NTUC is kind of like a hit or miss, so avoid going to those supermarkets lah. You need to go to lower-end supermarkets like Sheng Siong. Sometimes they will have little trays of pork fat displayed over here, but if it's not there, right, you need to go up to the counter where they chop the meat and ask them for some. Hello, can I have a 500 gram pork fat?
Pork fat?
Pork fat. Kìa. 可以。可以啊。可以。其他的吗？没有了。没有了啊。OK, thank you 啊。谢谢。Thank you. The third way is buying it from the butcher at the wet market. Can you get 500 gram pork fat?
pork fat
Pork fat đây này.
Chú yếu nhiều mà. Cái gì mini sauce? Cái gì nhỏ sauce?
Nhiều. Hả?
多一点点啊，
What? What?
多一点。
多一点 OK 可以可以。
长的那个一个就好。
啊，
你来3块啊。
一碗。
谢谢你啊。
谢谢你啊。
So what I have here is basically 2 portions of pork fat. This one was actually bought from Sheng Siong supermarket and it's already cut up for you. Very easy. This one was bought from the market lah. Yeah, so you need to cut it up yourself. And they're about roughly the same price. So it is really up to which place is actually more convenient for you lah. I like going to Sheng Siong because it's really pre-cut for you. But I also don't mind going to the market either lah. I mean, no. So what I need to do is to basically cut up this piece into bite-sized pieces lah. So let me get a knife. So yes. So as I said, you cut it up into bite-sized pieces. It really depends on how big you want to cut it into. You want a bigger bite, you want a smaller bite, up to you. So FYI, you want a piece which is roughly about this thick, I suppose. You can have it smaller if you want to, but I think that this is a good size lah. So the pork fat is now all cut up, and now we start frying. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first way of actually rendering pork fat. This is the easier way lah, okay? So what you do is that you heat up your pan first. Okay. You spread out the fat. If you see any big pieces, you might want to cut it up a little bit more. Now mine is a cast iron pan, so it takes a while to heat up, but once it heats up right, then I turn down the heat to the absolute minimum. Do you hear it sizzling? Let it sizzle for a little bit more. So once it gets to a reasonable sizzle right, basically turn down the flame all the way down. Okay, the reason why you want to turn down the flame is because you want all of the oil to render out and you don't actually want the fat to burn. Now as this is sizzling right, let me explain that there are actually 2 ways of actually rendering just pork fat like that. One is the long slow way and one is the fast way lah. And there is actually a difference because it's whether you actually want it to have more oil inside each fat piece or less oil. It's the difference between getting a piece of very crispy pork lardons or basically one where there's a little bit more oil inside lah. If there's a little bit more oil inside, that means that it hasn't been rendered completely throughout. And then so you get that lovely oil burst whenever you bite into one. So it really depends on what you want. So if you want that little oil burst, that means that you can actually afford to turn up the heat a little bit more and then just quickly render and then just take out lah. But if you want all the oil to be completely rendered out, then you need to go low and slow. Already you can see the oil is already rendering out lah. See? So you can toss it around so that it doesn't burn. Just once in a while, just stir it. Now I forgot to add that one of the benefit of actually going low and slow is that the render oil actually doesn't get to its smoking point, so it doesn't oxidize. So there is a health benefit to it lah, you know what I mean? At this point I will prepare a bowl. I'll put over here and I'll put all the I will put all the pork fat bits lah, which have gotten crispy and I don't think you can render it anymore. So you're going to need one of these to take out the fat. Okay, this one's a bit big, so I'm going to cut this. Let's see. It's also a bit big, cut. Okay, crispy lardon, so I can put this in. Okay, now you look at this piece, right? This piece is more or less rendered out lah. It still has a little bit of oil inside, but I think you can sort of put it aside. Okay, one way of actually knowing that it's ready is that, I mean, besides the fact that it actually gets brown, is the fact that you see these little bubbles here, right? The fat pieces are actually giving off bubbles, right? That means that there's actually oil still inside lah. So once it actually stops bubbling, right, then you know that it's more or less ready lah. You know, that's the other indication. Okay, it's almost done. A little bit more, and yeah, should be able to take it out. Then what I do is that I'm gonna pour this into this. Then there's a strainer lah. Okay, done. So those are crispy bits. And the reason why I strain it is so that any remaining oil, right, which is on the pork lardons, I suppose, they actually drip back down into the bowl, you know. Yeah, fairly crispy. And that's the rendered pork oil. See, that is 500 grams, not a lot, but it will fill about maybe 1 jar or so. Okay, so this is how I store my fat lah, basically. It's just in a glass jar. I pour it in. Yep, that's it. There you go. Pure rendered pork oil, pork lard. And so you leave it to cool and then you put it into the fridge. As for these over here, this is pork lard which you can use in any dish lah, whatever dish you want. It doesn't taste great on its own. I mean, it tastes good on its own, but even better if you just add a bit of salt. There we go. Then you mix it, and you're done. So you can put the pork oil inside the fridge. You can put this inside the fridge. It won't go bad. Maybe it'll last for about a month. Pork lardons. Let's try one. Oh. Actually, I could have gone a little bit more. Still has got the oil inside. Oh. But somewhat crispy. Oh god. Okay, so this is the other way which you can render pork lard. This is the Chinese version. First you take some ginger and you slice it just anyhow. Okay. Okay. About right. Maybe a little bit more. Make it a bit smaller. Okay. Ginger. Some spring onion. Just rough chop. There you go. Ginger and spring onion. Now, what we do is that we take a wok. What you do is that you put the fat in. Put some water. Then you turn on the heat. Then you need something like a bowl and a ladle. I'll explain later why. Now the reason why you boil the fat inside the water is so that all the scum, you see, all the scum actually comes out. And once you actually clear out all the scum, you'll actually result in a clearer, purer oil. So then you skim off the scum. Okay, then now you turn down the heat and then you extract the water. Right then you put some spring onion and ginger. And then you add some salt. Maybe about there. I'm adding some Celtic salt now. Turn up the heat. The fat looks like right now. So about now, most of the water has sort of like evaporated, so then you turn down the heat. Then begins the long process of rendering it into lard. Okay, you have to keep on stirring because otherwise the fat will stick to the wok lah. But already the oil is starting to render out. Again, if you feel that the pieces are too big, right, just snip it off a bit. Okay, it's starting to get nicely brown now. Now I've reduced the flame even smaller just to squeeze out even more oil lah. And you can tell that the flame is a bit too high because it's already starting to brown the fat a little bit too much for my liking. Okay, I think that's way too brown lah. Let's switch this off. Okay, so what we have here is pork oil, pork lard done two ways, and we have got pork lardons done two ways. So first, the pork oil. This one is just rendered straight. You know, it's got a darker color, so on and so forth. It's not as clear, very slightly, I mean. And the taste is... it's got a little bit more of a porkier aroma taste sort of thing. This one is the one which was skimmed off. I added ginger, spring onion and a bit of salt inside. And I mean, obviously it's taken on a little bit of a green hue because I put in a lot of spring onion because I like the spring onion taste. But actually you're not supposed to put in so much spring onion lah. Then it won't be so green. See? But the flavor is, I mean, it's brilliant. It's wonderfully flavored with a bit of salt, ginger and spring onion, and you can tell that it would be a wonderful oil for frying. That's it. You know? So as for the pork lardons, this one is just rendered plain, straight on, and it's well, very crispy. It's in between lah. Got a bit of crisp and a bit of oil inside. I could reduce the temperature even more and just eke out even more oil and make it super crispy, but I didn't lah. And in order for it to taste good, I basically salted it a bit lah, with some sea salt. So it's very nice. And this is the one which was done the Chinese style with spring onions, ginger, a bit of salt, and it's a darker color because I let it render out a little bit more oil, a bit crispier, very nice. And the salt is very uniformly distributed, fantastic. There's still a little bit of oil inside. If I had reduced the temperature a little bit more oil would actually come out lah. Or I can maybe cut these into smaller pieces lah, because they are a bit big. Then more oil would actually come out lah. But yeah. Oh, fantastic. So there you go. 1 kg of pork fat. And this is the amount of oil which you get. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's okay lah. I mean, depending on how much home cooking you do, right? I estimate this will be maybe about a week's worth of oil, maybe 2. You know, depending on how liberal you are with the oil. And obviously, if you deep fry, all this will be gone. So yeah. Can't stop eating these pork lard. What the show. Okay, so this is the next day, and this just came out of the fridge. And when you open it, it's solid, completely solid lah. And then so, if you want to use it, just take however much you want lah. After a while, you get a feel of how much lard to use lah. I mean, you know, so that's pork lard, and if you want to fry an egg, that's about the amount you use, more or less lah also. So what you do is that you just put it in the pan. There you go. Then there'll be some left over on the spoon, and once you heat the spoon inside the pan, right, the fat will melt right off. So time to fry an egg. Already it's starting to melt. There you go. Let's say if I want some fried egg. Okay. And there you go, fried egg. So I like to add more oil. So what I do is that I just pour the oil on the egg lah. You know. And of course, fried egg is not complete with a little bit of tallow, dark soy sauce. Oh, that's a bit much. There we go. And there you go, eggs fried and lard and with some dark soy sauce. Exactly how I love my eggs. Okay, so thanks for watching another episode of Greg's Big Eats, where I eat through the whole of Singapore. Well, in this case, where I show you how to cook pork lard and pork lardons. Okay, testing. Okay, my mic basically cracked up towards the end, and then you couldn't hear. I need to replace the mic or something. So I hope you enjoyed that episode, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked this sort of cooking video, let me know, and then I can do more of it if you like. Yeah, so don't forget to... Oh, my kids are here.
Like, subscribe, and follow for more.
Yes, please like, subscribe, and follow for more. And I will see you maybe then. Hello? Are they going to see you next episode?
Don't know.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.